Hi, this is Peggy at Headshots by Peggy, and today we have Keith Williams from Better with Improv with us, and it's going to be a fun time.
That's right. Hi, Peggy. Thank you for having me.
I often tell my viewers, all my actors, my clients, that they should always push themselves, do things out of out of their comfort zone. And I always recommend improv. I've seen the power of improv, and somebody called me out on it. And you were on TikTok, and you were like, "Yeah, so where did you study, Peggy?" And I was like, "I've never taken an improv class." So, needless to say, 8 weeks later, I have taken an improv class and signed up for another 8 weeks because it was so fun. But I stand by what I've said. I was correct. Improv is good for everybody. Whether you're a business person, an entrepreneur, an actor, a singer, anybody, everybody needs these tools. So tell me your story.
Well, first of all, I appreciate you, and I appreciate that story. And you're right, everything is better with improv, which is our motto. Well, first of all, I have been practicing, performing, and teaching improv for 10 years plus, and that plus is getting bigger and bigger. But I started off with just being a creative person. Started off as an art director, just being in a creative space, always wanting to do things. What I really wanted to do was kind of direct film and do movies and stuff. But one day I was here in my home, Charlotte, North Carolina, and I saw a bumper sticker for an improv group. I thought it was stand-up comedy. So I said, oh, good. Stand-up set somewhere in town. I need some entertainment. I want to get out the house. Fine. And went there and realized it was a graduation show for a class. And we were in a hotel, and these guys were just having fun. Like, they were really witty and quick, and they were making this up on the spot. Really?
Right.
And so they were playing a game of questions, and they took an audience member to come up and play. I'll try. I got up there and I won the game, and I kind of just had like some moments where I wasn't nervous. I had a lot of fun. I was like, yeah, that's fun. I'm going to try that. And then I just started taking level 1 class, and then I went from there. And then I made the cast, and I had the best team, and I just practiced over time, and then started teaching in the school systems, and then and then what happened really with Better with Improv was I had a corporate job, and one day they said, well, we're gonna eliminate your job, and the business decision. I was like, what did I do? No, it's not you. You were perfect. It's a business decision. And I was so angry over this thing. And I said, from now, I'm not going to let a company control me. I'm going to build something. I'm going to build my own brand and my own company. And I said, well, what am I passionate about? Well, I like video and I like improv, but how do I put that together? And I said, well, so I've been taking video training and, really learning YouTube and learning editing, and I'm going to teach and have a course, and I'm going to not necessarily be an influence, but I was going to teach using the medium. But I said, well, improv is a theater sport. It's like a theater thing. Like, no, you can't do this online. No one's going to learn online. You can't do improv online. But I'm going to try. And then when that happened, the pandemic happened right after. And so I'd already built the brand Better with Improv. I had already, kind of created strategy about it. And then the pandemic hit. And then I started doing videos on how to get the most out of online improv. Because I'm like, okay, we're online and we're in this box. What do we do? And I also, because we were in a pandemic, sort of found the improv world, like everyone's coming online. So instead of having a troupe in this town and a troupe in that town, all of a sudden Miami's online, Milwaukee's online, LA's online, Chicago's online. Now Black Lives Matter movement happens, Improv Olympics gets in trouble, Second City gets an accusation, the groundlings are like, there's a thing, right? All of a sudden the Chicago groups are like, and they're closing theaters, but a lot of folks are saying, hey, we've been mistreated. We haven't been had the same opportunities. We've been tokenized. Like all these stories are coming out. I'm like, what are you talking about? People from SNL are like part of this complaint. And I was like, wow. And so now I want to do an expose on, is improv for everyone, race and improv. So my online presence has more and more purpose, but I've always wanted to teach. So this the role is to teach. Now here I am working on YouTube, trying to do all these things, trying to teach. And someone says, dude, you need to be on TikTok. On what?
Everybody needs to be on TikTok.
TikTok? Come on, I can't. What are you talking about? So I have a friend who's in my video class. That dude can cook. We're together chatting with each other. We both got no followers. He's like, man, I'm seeing to the side where we're drinking champagne. I'm like, okay. And he's following Gary Vee. He's doing all these things. He gets on TikTok. He's got 3.5 million followers. Okay. Dr. Brad Klontz, he's a financial, psychologist. We're in this video group together. He goes, dude, you got to come over to TikTok. He's got 100,000 followers, right? I'm like, this is like in a quick amount of time. So I come over and I'm figuring out how, it's because it's a different animal, how to do it there in 15 seconds, right? When I need 2 hours with you, I need, and I don't want to give away all the secrets because I want you to come in and experience it. It's like just putting the synopsis or the plot or the spoiler online and not letting you experience the whole movie. So it's been very interesting, but yeah, we've had a pretty good following. We've grown the awareness and we've had some good classes. So doing live classes is the most fun. We're going to work up to a master class. There's a whole plan, but it's right now it's about building and helping and supporting you, making you better presenter, better leader, better coach, better teacher, better parent, and your confidence and all that stuff. And so later on today, we'll talk about you and the fun that you've had and some of the progress you've made in our class. And I think it's worth it.
I think the one thing actors need to realize, I think sometimes actors correlate, well, commercial actors need improv, but I do scripted stuff. I do television, I do movies, whatever. But there are still times when they're like, here's your script, ... They want you to kind of fill in ... And a lot of times, an actor's put in that position and they're like, they don't know what to do. And so that's why I say every single person will benefit from an improv class. It's going to help you with every area, especially if you're an actor, because maybe your other person that you're acting opposite of screws up their lines and you're just, you're able to make it work, for whatever reason you're doing.
Yeah.
If you're in theater, obviously, if it's a live show, things like that, there's all these reasons why. But I think the other thing is just, it's fun. It builds teamwork. It builds your confidence. I had a blast, and Mary can tell you, I literally cried like a baby. I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't know what I signed up for. I'm too scared. I'm gonna make a fool of myself. I hate this. And he was like, go get in front of your computer and take the class. And it was really fun every single week.
Well, I'm glad you had fun.
Even when you were hard on me, it was still fun.
You came, first of all, you came a long way. And you're probably watching this and you're probably asking, wait, how is doing improvisation going to help me with a scripted piece? The words are already written. I'm not making anything up. And what we do with that is we have a scripted piece. And if you're going to use it for an audition, what we've been doing is taking that scripted piece, listening to it, taking cues and clues from it, and then doing some improv scenes before and after and during, like that that involve characters that we're talking about or that are involved specifically in the script, and giving some more information, building a real world. Like if you're supposed to be frustrated in your delivery of this script, well, let's go back and find out why you're frustrated. Well, there's some things in the script that say, you never supported me, and I broke my tooth on that candy, and that caused me to go to the dentist, which caused me to lose some money, which caused the, okay, let's cut to the dentist. Let's cut to the tooth. Let's cut to the fact that you don't have any money. Let's cut to the fact that the boyfriend left you, and then play it out. So there's a way to, when you come back to the script, you're informed. And that's the idea of the class, the Improv for Actors class. Yeah, and or if you want to make the script more fun, we can go back and laugh at some things, and then you have a lighter attitude about it. And acting and improv is not just comedy. It's really, you can have dramatic improv as well.
As we found out in class a few times. But that is definitely an acting technique, is before, what happened before your scene, basically, exploring that, finding out who that character is, and did they, was there a car accident on the way right before this and they were stuck in traffic, and then it builds this, oh, I understand why they snapped, because like 20 other things just happened, or oh, I get why they thought this was funny, because and then you can kind of be there more.
Yeah, the classic "what's my motivation" question to the director. If you've already explored some of those motivations, you can share with the director. So, from my understanding, this character is doing X and Y based on these things, and the director might hear that and go, "Yeah, that's smart. That's that's thoughtful." Even if he says, here's the motivation, from other parts of the script, and then again, you're in your head or in your practice, you're creating scenarios that allow you to kind of bring that, to your audition or to your actual performance. And we do some real acting coaching as well, right? We make you sit in those emotions, take beats, take breaths, really bring it to life. And if you become familiar with it, you're not going to be robotic. You're going to deliver it in a way that's really like, how would you feel? Like, how would you feel? Like, how would you feel? If we were in class, we would stir each other up, to get you there. It's just that traditional stuff. But improv is so much fun. You can apply it to anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's important for every area of your life. It's even great for relationships. I mean, the one thing in improv, your goal is to make your partner look good. And if you carry that on in your personal life, that's always a good thing. Like when you are always trying to make your partner look good and your partner's always trying to make you look good, that's a good way to live your life. Instead of like always focusing me, how can I steal the scene? It's like, no, how can you make the story progress? How can you help tell the story? How can you make things better for everything? And when you get that mindset, you're helping everything, even in your personal life. So I recommend him. I've always recommended improv to everyone. And now that I am officially a certificate holder, that I finished a class, I still recommend.
Right. You're an improviser now. Yes.
I am now officially, yes. But yeah, so tell us a story, like tell us something that happened like when you were learning improv, like something funny or what, like just tell us a funny memory that you have of how you were like, okay, this is cool, like this is useful. Or it could just be a good
there's so many things. Yeah, so I used improv, first of all, even just this week I landed a new job and I used improv to kind of to get that done. I mean, I've done a lot of interviews, and I've done a lot of interviews on Zoom and on live now, you know? So the fact that you can talk to camera, the fact that you can be comfortable, the fact that you can laugh at the obvious, all that stuff helps. One of the best stories, you know, when I used improv, I was working and I joined this company and we had a vice president. So all the directors were afraid of this vice president. They were scared. Like, scared of what? Like, what are we scared of? You know, he's tough. You know, he picks apart your presentation. So they were getting together, and if we had to present a problem to the vice president, they would get together and practice what they were going to present. So just tell him what's going on. Just tell him what's going on. He's the decision maker. He makes the big bucks. Tell him what's happening, and let's see what he says. They're like, no, no, no. And in the presentation, even if they propose a solution, they would intentionally plant something that was obviously wrong so that the vice president could find it, correct it, and feel satisfied, because if it was perfect, he would correct something just to be correcting it. So this is how they were approaching the vice president. I didn't know the vice president. I was brand new, and we're at lunch, and I'm just telling my story. And he's like, wow. I said, listen, he says, oh, improv, well, that's great. I said, yeah. He said, listen, we're having a show this Saturday. You should come down to the theater. The other guys are elbowing me like, no, 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 not this guy. He's the vice president. He looks at me, he goes, is it going to be inappropriate? I said, yeah, it's going to be highly inappropriate. He says, oh, bet, I'm there. Yeah. He buys a ticket. He shows up. He's in the front row. No one else from the company's there. You know, we have our standard audience. Show is amazing. Okay. He comes through. He's like, great show. Tuesday comes and we have to do a big presentation for him. We have to ask for like $60 million or something like that. Not 60, $6 million, $6 million. We needed budget for a project. And we had to solve some things. And so these guys, again, working to figure out how to present this to him. And I'm like, we need to simplify this. So I do a word cloud, and in the middle of the biggest need, which was financial support. So then there's all little words and financial support. And so we get in there, and all the directors, again, I'm the rookie, so I get to go first. So we're sitting in there waiting for the vice president to show up. Everyone's nervous. He walks in, they get silent, they look. I'm sitting at the front, so I'm closest to him. He sits down and he leans over and he goes, outstanding. And he's referring to the improv show on Saturday. I go, thanks. I appreciate that. All right, I guess I'm up. I throw up my slide. It says financial support. He goes, well, it's pretty obvious what's the problem. Proved. Meeting over. Now, no, like we had 5 or 6 other presentations coming. He cut the meeting and proved the thing. He got up and he walked out. And everyone looked at me and they're like, how did you do that? I don't know. Just put up, but I knew that he had come to the show. And
building relationships.
Correct. And I didn't tell them all of that. But I thought it was a moment where I was like, wow. And but yeah, so there are things that came after that where I was able to teach folks some presentation skills and some presentation techniques, or just how to be more comfortable, more confident, sit in and own their truth and be themselves, those kind of things.
And confidence goes a long ways, and that's especially now, everything is Zoom auditions or self-tape auditions, everything. So the more comfortable you are and the more self-confident you are, because you don't have the one-on-one energy in the room anymore. A lot of people depended on energy in the room. I'm one of those people. I love to draw off of other people's energy. So it's really difficult for me, even when we started doing the Zoom vlogs like this. I mean, I'm used to somebody sitting right next to me and, having that energy. And it took a little bit to relax and realize, okay, we're still in the same room. We're just looking at each other on a computer screen. Yeah. But having that confidence, confidence goes so far, and building that confidence up and realizing that there is, you're not going to say anything wrong. You're just going to say what you say and just, keep going, instead of, oh my God, getting so worried about everything being in a small box. Just kind of opening it up and relaxing and going with sometimes it's the first thing that comes to your head. It's, just relax and go for it,
Yeah, yes. You remember conference calls? We'd be on conference calls and even interviews, and the coaching advice would be smile when you're on the phone. People can hear your smile.
Yep.
And if you can really, laugh at jokes and point out the obvious and just have fun, it'll go well. And this personality of yours can honestly come through. They can shine. It's no different than your television and movie stars. They're not in a room with you, right? When you see them on screen, you're like, wow. That's because they know you're watching them, or they know or they're ignoring the camera, and they're just being in the moment. They're really connecting, and connection and relationship over like all those things are really important when we're on stage and we're doing something, even if we are creating it with unscripted, right? We are actually communicating as we would in real life, as those characters would. I'm listening to what you said last. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And listening skills. It also teaches listening, and listening is very important. Instead of thinking what is my next line, actually being present and listening and just being.
So if you're an actor and you have a script and you know what the line that's coming next, one of the rules is you shouldn't be anticipate a line. You should be listening. But I know what the line is coming. I know I'm going to say hi, and he's going to say, hey, how are you? Or he's going to say hi, and I'm going to say, hey, how are you? Let's do that. He's going to say hi, I'm going to say, hey, how are you? I mean, well, I understand what what am I listening for? Well, you're listening for how he said hi, because now you need to react. If he comes in and he goes, hi, then you might like, well, hi, how are you? Like, something wrong, like, how are you? Versus, hi, hey, hi, how are you? Like, it becomes a reciprocal thing. And, so if you're in a scene and you've got the same lines, you want to listen so that you can respond authentically. And I think it helps. Yeah.
Absolutely. So what is your, I know you're on TikTok, because that's where I found you, and you have like a bazillion followers. I have like 1,500, but whatever. I'm not like mad or anything. But
you have quality followers. Yeah.
Yeah, the quality. But it's so important, because the industry has, shut down, and then it started to reopen, and it's looking like things are going to kind of come to a halt again, just because, the virus is, we're seeing horrible numbers and blah, blah. So it's important that people stay creative. I know for me, and I know this isn't healthy, so I don't want any, self-help people or therapists to comment, because I already know. Okay. But I put a lot of my self-worth on my productivity, and I get it. I know you're not supposed to, but I'm a photographer. I've always been a photographer. That's what I do. And so when that gets taken away from me and I'm not able to do that, depression and being frustrated and all these like crazy thoughts come in my mind. And it's like, what is going on? And so I know a lot of actors are the same way. And yeah, we should all work on ourselves and be better, blah, blah, blah. But we also need to stay creative, and there's other ways to do it. You can, go join an online class, get in front, set up your cell phone, record yourself, get on TikTok and be creative. There's so many creative things that go on. It's just, it blows my mind how creative people get. And, it's hilarious. And there's so many things you can do. So get out there and be creative and do stuff, because there's nothing that you can do that's going to that you'll regret. Like you'll regret sitting home and not doing anything, but you're not going to regret joining a class, or you're not going to regret, you know, practicing and being ready. So when that audition does come, you've already got your tech figured out and you're happy and you're, you know, involved. So getting involved in doing stuff is always going to be better. And improv looks amazing on an actor's resume. Let's be honest. Everybody loves to see improv on your resume.
It may even be a required thing. You know, it helps you make stronger choices. And you know, and it shows that, you know, even in situations where things might not go the way that you want them to do, that you can go with it. If one of the major actors on the set decides he wants to change the line or do some improv, that you can roll with it. You know, if a flub happens and it's good, like you go with it, you know. And that take might be the best take, that something real happened. And so I think it's important that you learn these kind of skills. And I think it gives you confidence and makes you more comfortable, and because you know that mistakes were a gift, you can do it again. But as far as creativity during this time, you have the time now to improve on your reel. You have time to shoot some creative stuff. There's a lot of self-photography accounts out there. There's a lot of Instagram accounts out there. Peter McKinnon has a PM photo challenge where he gives a theme, and then photographers go out there and really try to get at it. And I've submitted some stuff because I use some Canon equipment. You know, I do some photography, and got some nice set of lenses. I got a mirrorless. I started with my T5i and doing video, and you know, learning a lot of the techniques and transitions, and you know, really I teach the triangle. All right, really the photographers, you got to figure out what's happening and not just put your camera on auto, but you really need to know the difference between, you know, your speed and your ISO and your aperture. Like, so all those things are critical for a good photograph, right? And your lighting and everything else that comes with it. And the mirrorless camera removes the mirror and how that all works. And it was pretty cool. Digital age has really helped, but still learning the basics of photography is still a nice skill set. And there's a lot of working photographers out there that I think there's a lot to be said about really good photography. It's still an art. And so I would, you know, keep at it. Just keep practicing, you know, night shoots, all kinds of stuff.
Stay creative. Yep. People, you know, even if it's just something that you do as a hobby, you never know what that hobby is going to lead you to. I mean, I started off 16 years ago as a hobby doing digital scrapbooking, and that turned into making posters and doing some graphic design. And, you know, so you never know where your hobby is going to lead you and the skill sets that you learn. But especially for actors, everything you learn is going to help you in acting, because it's an experience that you can draw off of. So maybe that character does this, or maybe that character, you're like, oh, I've done that. I totally know what that feels like. Or, oh, yes, I've had my heart broken. Or, oh yeah, I've actually tried something and failed. I was really terrible at it, and I fell on my face, and it felt terrible because I was embarrassed, or whatever it may be.
Sure.
But whatever it is, whether you're good at it or bad at it, it's still an experience that you can draw off of. So go out and do stuff, be creative, and have fun. And I'm glad that I got pushed out of my box, my comfort zone, and did my improv. A couple of years ago, I did a stand-up comedy class, and all day at Flappers, and I sucked at it. And I'm not mad that I did it, but I know for certain that I will never do it again. But it was a fun experience, and I know what that feels like now. And I love stand-up comedy, and I know that I will never be a stand-up comedian, because that was some stuff, man.
Stand-up's tough. I think improv is tougher, but it's a different muscle. Stand up, you're prepared, right? You have your set, your jokes, your timing, the order of the jokes, what you're not going to say, what you are going to say. You have package retorts for hecklers. But the interesting, your audience changes, then your jokes may
The
not
energy
hit.
changes. Yeah, the
Yeah,
energy
your
changes.
inflection changes. One night you said it just like this, and then the next night you're saying it just like this, and then all of a sudden the joke doesn't work, and you're like, "Wow, what happened?" Um, Improv is also reading the room and understanding, and again, you have no idea what's going to happen. Like you're building a world, you don't know what line. There's no prep of any kind. You have a format, things you're going to like, how you're gonna, if you're doing a long form, how you're gonna edit and sweep and come in, and how to, like, do's and don'ts. Like if
Mhm.
something's going well, don't come in and try to steal that scene. Let that go. Let that breathe. Let that happen. You know, silence is important. Like this is a lot of rules, and so come take the improv classes, and we'll teach you all the secrets.
So you got another improv class coming up. It's starting December 5th because I'm in it. I'm taking this my second class that I'm going to be taking. So is there
Yes.
still room in this class? If people are interested in taking an online improv, can they join it, or do they need to go
Yes.
back to the 101? How does that work?
So this is first of all, yes, there are seats. There are some seats left. Um, and this is called Improv Secrets long form. This is pure improv, but from the Chicago style long form, where we're going to do edits and sweeps. We're going to take scenes and we're going to stretch them out. They could be 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, where a complete set goes. We'll start off with some mid form and then we'll go longer. They do not have to take the Improv for Actors 101, which is a different animal. That's purely just scripted and enhancing with improv. Here we're going to get to the art of improv and teaching some of those foundations. So when you apply it to your script, you're even better at the improv piece. But we're going to go 8 weeks and we're going to learn about, being an improviser, what improv is, what it isn't, and where you can apply it. It's going to do more for you than just making you a better actor. You're really going to allow you to be a better business person, just a better friend, parent, teacher, be more approachable, maybe a better student. We're going to lower your bar of embarrassment. Some people are nervous. They don't want to get in front of other people. We'll put you in a safe space. We're gonna talk about emotions and a whole lot of stuff, but really, intention, teamwork, collaboration. We're gonna talk about stage presence, spacing, back of the room, like theater stuff. We'll talk about Zoom and how to get the most out of it. We're gonna
And right
really,
there, right there is important because everybody's on Zoom right now. So if
yep,
you don't get anything else out of that, knowing how to position yourself on Zoom and how to work a Zoom room
yes,
is going to be worth it because auditions, readings, plays. I okay. I interrupted you.
yes,
Keep going.
yes. No. So even right now we have Better with Improv has some videos. We have a 3-part series on how to get the most out of online improv, but really it also talks about Zoom and the camera and the lighting and using the box, using your body, um, all those things. But even for actors, there's a lot of space. You can really use it. Um, your audio. We talk about your sound. There's a lot of technical things that get you on Zoom. And when we have class, we break out into breakout rooms, which is a Zoom thing. You know, we come back, your camera is there. You got to know that, right? Even though your screen might be here or there, you got to
Mhm.
know where your lens is so you can look at people in the eye. And now, if I'm looking at you in the eye, Peggy, and then I'm looking at you on screen, you see that little bit of,
Yeah, absolutely.
you can see it. And all I'm doing is just breaking eye contact with you, and you can feel it. And so if you're delivering something,
Because humans feel eye contact. We're just built that way. And that's the
that's right.
trickiest thing for me with Zoom because the camera's backwards and but yeah,
Yeah,
it's you got to know it. You got to learn it.
yeah. So there's techniques and tricks I'll share. We'll do all that.
So
There's
the
so much
first class
stuff.
I took with you was a kind of a unique class. I think it was all female.
Yes.
And so we, by the end of the class, had our, you know, because females do this, we had our little cliques and our like, you know, our unbreakable bonds. And Keith was like, yeah, I'm teaching. No, we didn't gang up on you too bad. But it was a very unique experience and a very safe place. But I'm sure that this next class will be more gender mixed, with
Yes.
all more representation. But it was a very interesting experience, and it was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, it was. Some people are like, what's the big deal? Like, it's all women. I'm like, okay. You know, and I want to explain it's, you know, for some, you want some guys there to help balance, and then they're like, why do we need guys? What do we need guys for? We don't need guys. And then other people are like, I don't want to play a guy. I want to be, you know, so you get a lot of that, and we really focus on, you know, respecting gender identity, and, you know, and all of those things. So,
Yeah,
so I
it
want
was
the men to come to the class. You're gonna have a great time, and I mean, you guys are actors and leaders, so I know that you know, usually improv is mostly guys, and then there are some girls, but now women are really getting into becoming improvisers. And like you said, this class was all women. The last class, the actors class. So we'll see what happens here
yeah,
with
it'll
this
be really
next
fun.
speakers class. So I hope.
So I put the information right here below, and I'm also going to put it in the bio, so that, or in the description, so that they can click on it. But it's right across the screen now. Also, social media. What, I know you're on TikTok. You're also on Facebook. You're on Instagram. What's your favorite platform? What's the best way for people to reach out to you if they want to kind of see more than your website?
Yeah. So okay, I'm gonna give you. Oh, it's pretty simple. I've simplified it. I'm at Better with Improv everywhere. So on TikTok, it's at Better with Improv. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/Better with Improv. Instagram is, you know, at Better with Improv. And we have my website, which is betterwithimprov.com, right? And so there's a contact page there as well. YouTube is youtube.com/betterwithimprov. So the only thing that's not Better with Improv is Twitter, which is Better
Not enough
Improv.
letters, right? Me too.
Yeah, it's Better Improv because I didn't have enough letters. But that's not the same as Better with Improv. It's like we're not better, you know. And
I know.
so the favorite, you know, Facebook, my Facebook page, Better with Improv, is probably the place where you get the most information. TikTok is a lot of fun. That's where we are the most creative. But from that Facebook page, you can see a lot of the work we're doing. You can, we update you on all of the things, including the shows that we're in. I just finished a meeting. We're doing the World of Improv on December 5th or 6th. We're going to nail that down. We're going to have 24 of the top improvisers around the globe. And I'm going to have a team of 7, including folks from London and Miami and Charlotte and LA. And we're going to do some very good improv. And my team, Mom's Adhesive, we just did a reality show. That's also on our Facebook page. We share a lot of cool stuff. We share some of the TikToks, but you can contact me there, or the contact page on betterwithimprov.com. That's all. It all leads back to our communications center. We'll be able to get those messages and get back to you.
Perfect. Do you have any bit of advice or anything you want to say before we wrap this up? Did I leave anything out?
No, you didn't leave anything out. We did it. You know, everything is better with improv, right? That's our motto. I want you to think about it that way. We can apply it to life, apply it to business. I've seen a Down syndrome improv troupe do a show. Amazing. So we can apply improv to all avenues and all aspects of life. And it's just a lot of fun. It's a blast. And there's a lot of people. I didn't create it. This art form has been around a long time. You know, Del Close and Shauna Helprin and wrote Truth in Comedy. There's tons of books. I'm going to be reviewing those books. They have 13 books. There's improvisers around. They just announced that John Carr of Dad's Garage is a theater company in Atlanta. He just got announced as the executive director of Second City. And Second City, because of there were some accusations, we're looking for a person of color to run their theater, and their theater feeds Saturday Night Live. So there's a lot of good things that have come, out of it, and there's a lot of people. So jump on my Facebook page. There's a lot of information. If you join the class, then you get to be part of a private group where we're going to continue to bring resources to you ongoing, even after the class. And we're going to continue to drop knowledge and nuggets, and that'll always be a resource that is updated frequently, so you can know what's happening, and you can you can learn from the world, and not just from me. I'll introduce you to it, but you'll get to meet everybody.
Awesome. Well, thanks for taking the time to hang out with me. And you guys, if you want to take an improv class, I'll be there, and it'll be fun. You guys will have a blast. So please leave tons of comments. If you have questions, leave him comments. He'll get back to you. He's really good at that. I'll bug him until he does. And most importantly, have an amazing week. I'll see you next week.
Thank you, Peggy.
Thank you. That was fun.